The book I am summarizing today is titled Untangling the Web. It was written by Steve Dembo and Adam Bello. The general theme of this book is to inform educators of the 20-plus online tools that can be used in the classroom to help them shift away from Web 1.0 towards Web 2.0. The book defines Web 2.0 as allowing the casual web user to shift from being an information consumer to a content producer. The authors have extensive experience in the ed tech field. Steve Dembo is a former kindergarten teacher who is now the Discovery Education's Director of Social Media and Online Community. Adam Bello is a former high school English teacher who is now an ed tech speaker and the founder of the apps EduTeacher and EduClipper. He also launched the student-focused social charity campaign called Change the World. This book is meant as a guide. The authors state in their book that even though mostly everything is done online now, that teachers still rely heavily on the printed word as a reference. So they wanted to put all their suggestions in a book that can be easily accessed by teachers. So because there are so many apps, I'm not going to go over each one, but I want to go over how the book is divided. It's divided into certain sections, and under each section there are apps that fall into that section. So the first one is curation tools. Curation tools allow gathering and sharing resources online. So under that we have Symbaloo, Diigo, and EduClipper. Of these tools, under curation tools, Diigo is the one that stands out the most to me. Diigo was formerly Delicious, which was the first site to help people save their bookmarks. What Diigo does is allows its users to research, share, and collaborate in a way that was never done before. So what they allow on their app is to highlight, comment, and also by adding notes to content. So the book also has suggestions of how this tool can be used in the classroom. And they suggest, if you have students working on a research project, they could use Diigo to share their sources with the rest of the class. And teachers can actually go in and make comments or notes on portions of the text to help guide students towards the information that they should be focusing on, rather than kind of overwhelming them with the entire source. Section is artistic tools. The authors believe that the arts are extremely important to creating a well-rounded person, and infusing them in all aspects of curriculum will yield a more creative, engaging, and capable student. So under the artistic tools, the one that stood out to me the most was iPicky. Picky is an innovative online photo editor that is so easy, even novice users can navigate the system. It is a web-based photo editing app, so it can be accessed by any system or browser, and it loads incredibly quickly. Offers the suggestion of using iPicky probably in a history lesson, using pictures from the past, and students can create a fake postcard to kind of send a message from the past to the future of what was happening in that time period. The next section is presentation tools. The purpose of these tools is so that teachers and students can look past presentation tools as just sharing information and see them as a publishing platform for students and teachers. The app that stood out to me most was Prezi. I've actually used Prezi in the past and I'm a huge fan of it. Prezi is a way for you to organize your information holistically. So instead of segmenting your information through slides, you can have an overarching theme of your presentation to kind of convey the purpose of your presentation through images. The suggestion for that in the classroom would be projects. Instead of using Google Slides or PowerPoint, they would use a Prezi, and it would just be more visually, and then that would help them hone in on their verbal skills. The next section is social networking tools. This one is very important because it is important for us to model good social networking behavior in the classroom so that our students can become 21st century good digital citizens. The one that is the most influential, I think, is probably Twitter. And this is Edmodo Twitter, so it's used for educational purposes only. But social networking tools are going to be around for the foreseeable future. And if we get our students learning how to use them in a responsible and enterprising way, then they will be able to like control and control their own social network. The best of the rest is a section that they've classified as just being like outside of any of the other categories, but they found to be really influential in the classroom. The one that I see most often is Class Dojo. This is a class management app, and it also can be used as like an incentive for students to like they get dojo points, and it can be used for like not only classroom management, but it can also be used to track behavior and show parents like what's happening in the classroom when they are not around. And last is our bonus section. Now this is just ones that they just couldn't see themselves not talking about. And of that one is probably Easely. Easely is a infographic generator that people are always looking for, is what the authors suggest. They say Easily is one of the only sites that provides an open framework for creating infographics online. How can this be beneficial in the classroom? Well, if you have your students create a brief form, they can use that and survey each other. Once they've received all the data from that survey, they can look at it and you can ask them like, what are 10 interesting things from this data? And it just gets them thinking about how to analyze data in an effective way. The summary of content. So the content of this book is extremely informative. It was purposed to help educators who are interested in integrating technology in their classroom. The authors had a purpose to make education empowering and engaging, and they also say that they want to add an element of play into their teaching as well. This book is organized in an easy-to-read guide and of apps and website critiques. Most of the recommendations were great. All of them seem to be useful in the classroom. I'm skeptical, however, because one of the authors did make one of the apps that was highlighted in the book, but it seems like it's also a beneficial tool, and he's an expert, so I'm going to go ahead and just trust his suggestion. So the authors see the need for technology in the classroom, what they consider Web 2.0, and given their advanced experience in the field, they decided to create a book for teachers to use as a guide of implementing these apps that will not only engage their students, but add an element of play into the classroom. Each app that is listed in the book has a detailed description, classroom application ideas, suggestions for parent use, and comments for teachers that use them. This is a great resource for modern world teaching. And I want to leave this summary with kind of the theme of the whole book and what the author's main purpose was. And it was to combining engagement and empowerment with an element of play. And that's how they see technology being integrated into the classroom as being beneficial. So thank you.